In Pokemon Sun and Moon, while there were no brand new fossil Pokemon, there was one of my favorite ideas related to them that had all the potential in the world. What happened next? Well, hold on to your butts, because it is time to once again recount the tale of the Dream Park. There is so much to love about Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I've been having a fun time looking back on many of the things I feel made the theory community special back then. With the Alola region being based on the real-life location of Hawaii, there were so many references and homages, but my favorite that filled me with absolute wonder had to be this little location on Route 8 of Akala Island. This location doesn't have an official name, but we see a few construction materials lying around, and there is one NPC standing in front of a trailer. Once interacted with, he welcomes you to Dream Park, where dreams become reality and fossils become Pokemon. And yeah, this serves as a place where we can bring fossil Pokemon to have them restored. In previous games, this would be relegated to research facilities, which make a lot of sense, though I guess by now the technology is a little more accessible to other people. Later on, they would just let anybody revive fossil Pokemon. But the entire reason the Dream Park exists the way it does is to serve as a reference to Jurassic Park. Given that Hawaii was used as a filming location for the original movie, the NPC here is using the rancher model, which could be seen as a stand-in for John Hammond, portrayed by Richard Attenborough. There is a scene early in the movie that takes place in a trailer when he meets up with Dr. Grant and Dr. Sattler, so maybe that's also the purpose of using the trailer model? Overall, this makes one of my favorite homages in a Pokemon game, especially because there were already connections when fossil Pokemon were first introduced. In Generation 1, Aerodactyl could be revived from an item called the Old Amber, which in some official art depicts a mosquito inside. Similar to how in Jurassic Park, they went through the same method, collecting prehistoric mosquitoes trapped in amber and harvesting the blood they consumed to obtain Dino DNA.
Dino DNA.
Dino DNA.
So now in the Dream Park, it really felt like everything had come full circle. Anyway, that was basically all there was to do in the Dream Park, so most people moved on and completed the main story of Sun and Moon. Though in the meantime, between this game and the next, a lot of fans noticed that there was a bunch of construction material littered all throughout the islands. Why would that be the case? Sure, it could just be decoration, but why have a bunch of wood planks lying around? Quickly, theories started to pile up, the most popular being that some of these could become the future locations of Pokemon gyms. As we had island trials throughout the main story and witnessed the foundation of the Pokemon League, perhaps in a potential Pokemon Sun and Moon 2, or Pokemon Stars if you want to get really crazy, we could see brand new gyms being built across the Alola region. It made a lot of sense, because there's no way all these random materials wouldn't be an intentional hint toward the future Generation 7, right? Tacked along with the gym theory, a lot of other fans remembered another place on the islands that felt a little incomplete. The man running the Dream Park did share his intentions of building something, so maybe that could be another new place we see constructed in the future. The speculation continued pretty consistently throughout the months, with theory videos, fan art, wish lists, and lots of fake leaks until June 6 of 2017, when we got the first trailer for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. While this trailer seemed to present these games as an alternate version rather than a sequel, there was footage of brand new places we hadn't seen in the original, like the Pikachu Valley. That was enough to keep the hope alive for things like the Dream Park, as trailers continued coming, highlighting a lot of new features like Mantine surfing and even buildings like the Photo Club. There was a mix of fascination and a little confusion. Again, these were just alternate versions, much like Emerald and Platinum, so ultimately there couldn't be too many changes, as we saw island trials would remain and gyms would not be included. That was definitely too big of an expectation, but surely we could see the Dream Park develop. Well, after the release of the games, we discovered that there was literally no change. Maybe we had gotten our hopes up. But looking back and seeing just how much Ultra Sun and Moon added, mostly part of the main story in the post-game, it makes you wonder why they just forgot about the Dream Park. Again, they added the Pikachu Valley as a little side location, so why not take advantage of an area that could also solve a problem that was starting to build up? See, fossil Pokemon are cool and all, but the fact that they're all extinct creatures that you revive from fossil items, it doesn't make a lot of sense to keep adding new ones, or even bringing back the old ones, because it ends up becoming a logistical nightmare. Most would be totally fine if you included them as wild Pokemon as long as there was a lore-based reason, which the Dream Park serving as a substitute for a Safari Zone could totally have worked as. I mean, this was the generation they just gave up and decided that you could buy fossil items in a store rather than digging them up, so maybe it was time to integrate them fully. I don't blame Pokemon too much, especially because basically everything else during the Generation 7 games was top-notch, and I'll admit the theory crafting at the time got really excessive, but it just would have been nice if we got to see that one NPC fulfill his dream. Later on in Sword and Shield's Crown Tundra, fossil Pokemon would be brought in as wild Pokemon, and there was an implied lore reason, so I honestly loved it. But I will still maintain that they could have done a little more with the Dream Park in Ultra Sun and Moon. At least give them some employees and make it look a little less lonely. Out of all the theories and speculation of the time, I think this was one of my favorites. It didn't have a whole lot to build up, and it was so obvious that it doubled back around into definitely not happening. Like I said, fossil Pokemon were just getting really bloated at the time, so I think seeing any possible way out made the Copion that much stronger. I still say this is one of my favorite places in the Alola region because of how much it means to the franchise as a whole, the reference that it makes, and how it may not have been the turning point itself, but definitely contributed to it. Good night, sweet prince. But hey, it's a brand new month, and we're in the prime time to talk about all our favorite prehistoric Pokemon with a brand new Jurassic movie coming out, and on the weekend of July 6th Park.
Welcome to July 6th Park.
So that's right, Gatorex's Fossil Week is back, and this time with a brand new name. Welcome to Fossil Frontier, the annual tradition where I make videos on not only fossil Pokemon for the main channel, but whatever prehistoric fun I can come up with for my other channels. So stay tuned for more news because I kind of fell behind in my schedule, but we can only go up from here. Anyway, I should get back to wrangling those dinos because it's going to be a busy week, or week and a half, maybe. Thank you to every channel member for your support, including the Great Gators, Shash, Cosmo Zero, Alex with Shiny Hunts, Tyler Hopper, Lockadox, Koi13, Cemetery Hill, Cheez-It62, Gator Kid 509, TF, Mathaclog 947, Taijirai, Justin R, Phantom, and Quago. If you would like to support, see your name here, get access to emotes for comments, live streams, sometimes early videos, and our monthly members podcast, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky as well for more memes. Anyway, this is Gatorex, and I'll catch you all later.
Dinosaurs don't just walk amongst you. They roar their terrible roars and gnash their terrible teeth. Get ready for Jurassic Park 3, Sunday night at 7. Kick back with the flicks every Sunday night